Very Guru Sasana Waikiki Kasa. Let's start right away with Sukhmi Sai. I've got a couple of nice videos I want to share with the Sangat today. My apologies, I couldn't come last week. We had a family teaching program that we attended. We're going to be doing a family teaching program once every month where all our kids get together with the teachers for the Sunday. We found a really nice little Gurdwara that's near Jodhpur Gurdwara near Chrysler Plant. And we've all chipped in together and we rented the whole facility so we can be teaching. It's really actually nice. It doesn't mean it's always going to be on Fridays, it's most likely on Saturdays too. But just because we started for the first time, I had to be there to get the kids started, so it was kind of nice to do that. So let's go straight to Sukhmi Sai. This was from the last time I was here. We finished off, O Nanak, that servant remembers him with each and every breath. Jere Guru da pyara Sikh hunda dassengi hundi a ਉਹ ਹਰੇਕ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਵਾਸ ਨਿਕਲਦਾ ਸਵਾਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੂੰ ਚੇਤੇ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ He covers the faults with servant. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ way Guru Sahib Sikh is a disciple of the Guru. So the Guru Sahib, he covers all his faults. So ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਕੋਈ ਮਾਰੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਜਾਣ ਲੱਗਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਭਾਈ ਜੋਗਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਸੀਗੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਭਾਈ ਜੋਗੇ ਨੂੰ ਬਚਾ ਲਿਆ right. So Guru Sahib of the Sikh Pachalanda. So he covers his faults. He tries to keep him on the right path. एक तो होता गुरमुख, एक होता मनमुख. असी मनमुख करके असी मन दे आखे लगते हैं, we get off the path. तो जो असी गुरमुख बनते हैं, गुरु के ख्यालों से चलते हैं, उसे रहनी बहनी च रहते हैं, then we back on the path and then he covers our fault. So जिससे गुरु के सिख नहीं बने, how do you expect him to cover you when you don't have faith in him? And Guru Rama Shakana, Guru Valvadana, Guru Sharni Charana, Uri Rani Bani Charana. It's so important because they jida by yoga to Kede Yoga, Mara Khode Yoga, and they say to Mere Yoga, for Mary Tede Yoga. Right? So then it becomes part of your life, your daily life. If Guru Sahib Jidu Kusi ki galti kar rahe hain, to unhe sache paashe pehle hi warning di de dande bhai ye apna kaam nahi kar raha. Okay? So that's why it's important. It surely preserves the honor of his servant. It preserves it not only in this life, but in the next life too. Okay, एक भी बचा लेना, आधे को सिख लो, गांव भी बचा लेना, जामन नेरे भी नहीं आते होते। ये गुरु की बाणी पढ़ते हैं, नाम जपते हैं, सेवा करते हैं, जामन का हक ही है नहीं कि नेरे लगने को कुछ सिखाने को। And that's what we want to become. We want to capture that. He blesses his slave with greatness. Such a greatness. Even over here, people appreciate that kind of person. And I'm going to show you a video of a sheriff in Texas that got shot, a Sikh sheriff. I'll show you a video of that one. They covered it on a lot of TV channels in the U.S. And he was such a nice person too. He did a lot of good things when there was hurricane or other things when they need you there. He organized and helped you out in the community. And I'll share that. But he blesses his slave with greatness. He inspires his servant to chant the name of the Lord. Now, today is a Friday, another week's gone by. We're ready into October 2019. I remember when 2000 started and we're already 19 years into 2000. Time passing like this, I think right? It's been a while since we met, right? And look how years have gone by, and now you have 2 children while my kids are married and I'm a grandfather. Okay, that's how fast life goes. Right? So this other journey, right, Viji? Your life went by really quick too. ਆਪਾਂ ਛੋਟੇ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ, ਸਿਆਣੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ, अब बुजुर्ग भी फट गए, चिट्टे धौल भी आ गए, so we're getting closer to that. सच्चे पातशाह कहते हैं जे तुसीं नाम दा जुड़े होण फिर तुहानूं डेथ दा कोई फिक्र नहीं। ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਆ ਉਹ ਮੌਤ ਨੂੰ ਚੇਤੇ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਪਰ ਮੌਤ ਤੋਂ ਡਰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ। ਡਰੇ ਜੋ ਗਲਤੀਆਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਇਹ ਗਲਤੀਆਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਔਰ ਬੰਦਾ ਉਹਦੀ ਰਹਿਣੀ ਬਹਿਣੀ ਦੇ ਸ਼ਰਨ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਡਰ ਨਹੀਂ। ਸੋ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਡਰ ਹੈਗਾ ਬਾਣੀ ਹੋਰ ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ ਕਰੋ, ਸਿਮਰਨ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕਰਿਆ ਕਰੋ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਕਰਿਆ ਕਰੀਏ, ਫਿਰ ਸਾਡਾ ਡਰ ਵੀ ਹਟ ਜਾਏ। Right? Sada kaam ko logo kaade hatan lagi you start becoming better people. Not only does your family realize that you become a better person, your friends, your neighbors, they say, wow, that's such a nice person. Right? So it spreads onto other people. It spreads into your kids. If thoda swad changa hega, thode bachcha na bhi swad automatically changa hoena. If thoda bada garam swad, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਵੀ garam swad. Right? So ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਪਏ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਵੀ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਹੀਏ, ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਚਾਹੀਏ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੋਣ। Right? They ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਾਉਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ, ਕਦੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੇ ਸਮਝਾਉਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ, right? Because they're young and they're like sponges and they have information like this. So you got to be able to answer that information that they're going to throw at you too. And if you get stuck, bring them in there. We'll talk about it here if we can. Right? Well, privately, you need to do it that way. We'll see how we can do it. He himself preserves the honor of his servants. Sache Pasha aap bakshish karte ho, right? He preserves the honor. Right? He doesn't let anybody badmouth his good sit. He makes sure that everything is honorable and done in the right way. No one knows his state and extent. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਪਿਆਰਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਣਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਉਹਨੇ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਭਗਤੀ ਕਰ ਲਈ ਆ, ਉਹ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹੈਗਾ, ਕੱਲਾ ਉਹੀ ਜਾਣਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਮਾਈ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਹੁਣ ਐਸ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਭਜਨਬੰਦੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਵੀ ਅੱਜ ਰਹਿਰਾਸ ਪਾਠ ਕੀਤਾ, ਅੱਜ ਨਿਤਨੇਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ, ਅੱਜ ਸੌਂ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸੋਲਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਸੀ। ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡੋਲਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਰੂਟੀਨ ਬਣਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ। I've got some nice videos to share today too. कि ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਭਗਤੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਕਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਨਿਤਨੇਮ ਫਿਨਿਸ਼ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਕਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਫਿਨਿਸ਼ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਕਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਾਕੀ ਦਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਸਾਫ ਹੁੰਦਾ। And you really like that video, okay? It makes me think when I look at these videos too. ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਇਹ ਚੋਂ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਤੋਂ as well, and you'll see that too. No one's equal to the servant of the God. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਪਿਆਰਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਰਾਬਰ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ। ਉਹਦਾ ਦਿਲ ਵੀ ਬੜਾ ਚੰਗਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਉਹਦੀ ਰਹਿਣੀ ਬਹਿਣੀ ਬੜੀ ਚੰਗੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਉਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਵਿਸ਼ਵਾਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਬੜਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਰਗਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ। ਸੋ ਲੋਕੀ ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਸਿੱਖਦੇ ਵੀ ਭਾਈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਣਾ ਲਾ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਵੱਲ ਬਣਾ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਉਹੀ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਭਾਈ ਤੂੰ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਲੱਗ ਲੱਗ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੁਛ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਸਾਰਾ ਚੁੱਕ ਕੇ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ। ਉਹ ਆਪਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੋੜਦਾ, ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਸਾਡਾ ਹੱਕ ਬਣਦਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜਨਾ। The servant of the God is the highest of the high. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਭਾਣੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਉੱਚਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸੱਚਾ ਉਹ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਵਾਲਾ, ਨਾਮ ਜਪਣ ਵਾਲਾ, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲਾ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਭਾਵਨਾ ਬੜੀ ਚੰਗੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਫਿਰ ਉੱਚਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ। ਨਾਲੇ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ one whom God applies to his own service, O Nanak, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਤੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਆਪ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰੇ, ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਵੱਡਾ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ। ਜੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਉਦੋਂ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਬੰਦੇ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ। ਵੀ ਕਾਂਡ ਘੁੰਡ ਪਾਏ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਰਿਆ ਫਿਰਦਾ, ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਬੋਲਦਾ, ਸੋ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ। ਪਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਬੰਦੇ ਦਾ ਵਾਈ ਭਾਈ ਆ ਬੰਦਾ ਬੜਾ ਚੰਗਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਦੇਖੋ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਬੋਲਦਾ, ਕਿੰਨੀ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਹੈ, ਦੇਖੋ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਨਾਲ ਕਰਦਾ, ਸੋ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਖਿਆਲਾਂ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿਰਪਾ। That servant is famous in the 10 directions. 10 directions meaning all over the world is famous. ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਹੈਗਾ। ਹੁਣ ਦੇਖ ਲਓ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਚੇਤੇ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੰਨੇ different countries ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਗੁਰਪੁਰਬ ਮਨਾਇਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਇਸ ਸਾਲ ਵੀ ਮਨਾਇਆ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਕਿੰਨੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਉਹ ਆਪ ਫੇਮਸ ਸਾਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ 'ਚ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਵਿਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਦੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰ ਖੁੱਲੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਇੱਕ ਟਾਈਮ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਆਉਣਾ ਵੀ ਇੰਨਾ ਖਾਸਾ ਵੱਧ ਜਾਣਾ ਫਿਰ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਗੋਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਕਾਲੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਵੀ ਬਣੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਉਹ ਦੇ ਭਾਈ this is what I've been looking for, this is my means of finding peace, my means of meditating। ਉਹ ਲੋਕੀ ਗਾਲਾਂ ਕੱਢਦੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬੁਰੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ, ਜਦੋਂ ਗਾਲਾਂ ਕੱਢਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਬੋਲੀ ਬੁਰੀ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਹੈ। ਪਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਵੱਲ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬੋਲੀ ਬੜੀ ਮਿਠਾਸ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਗਾਲਾਂ ਕੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਉੱਦਾਂ ਵੀ ਔਖੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਕਿਸ ਨਾਲ ਬੋਲਦੇ, ਬੜੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਹੋ, ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਹੋ। So that's why it's very, very important. He infuses his power into the tiny ant. ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕੀੜੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਆਪਦਾ ਪਾਵਰ ਇੰਸਟਿਲ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ। ਬੰਦਾ ਕੀ ਆ ਨਿੱਕੀ ਨਿੱਕੀ ਕੀੜੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਵਰ ਪਾ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਜੇ ਪਾਉਣਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ। It can then reduce the armies of millions to ashes. ਜਿੰਨੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਆਰਮੀ ਹੋਏ it can turn into ashes just like that. ਮਿੱਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਲਾ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ। That's how powerful ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ। Those who breathe, whose breath of life he himself does not take away. देखो जान की या श्वास चल रहा, श्वास थले आ रहा, ऊपर जा रहा, थले आ रहा, ये श्वास आते जाए तो बंदे क्या जान यही है ना। जो तो साह खड़ गया तो कुछ भी खड़ गए। उसे ने पाया, उसे ने चलाना, उसे ने बंद कर देना। इन्हू चलाने की गल है कि जे श्वास सफल हो नाम पानी के सेवा के यही काम होने है। He preserves them and holds them out his hands to protect them. तो ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਪਿਆਰਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਆਪ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਸਿੱਖ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦਾ। ਉਹ ਆਪ ਆਪਦੇ ਬਾਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈ ਲੈਂਦਾ, ਬੜਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ, ਬੜਾ ਸਮਝਾ ਕੇ ਰੱਖਦਾ, ਬੜਾ ਸੰਭਾਲ ਕੇ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ। You may make all sorts of efforts, but these attempts are in vain. कई बंदे है कि वो पुट्ठे लग के रंग दे रब नूं मिल जाना कि किने तरह दे पानी दे विच असीं नहाइए तो उत्थे सानूं रब मिल जाना एक करदा करदे ते ट्राइंग ते जंदे कि पहाड़ां ते जाने के कित्थे जांदे आ वो कहंदे बाकी ते तू जेड़ा मर्जी अटैम्प्ट करी चल इट्स ऑल इन वेन जिहदा असलीत भगती करनी नाम जपना सेवा करनी ओही काम होनी बाकी दे ते उद्देम दुनिया भजी भरती है कोई दे दे कोई कहना नक दे चाह पा लो कोई कहना सूई दे चाह पा लो कोई कहना इतना करो कोई उतना करो वो सारे बांह लेके जी भजन देखो कहते सूरज में सवेरे उठ के पानी पाया करो उतो सानू सुख मिलना कोई कहना इधर मैं करो कोई कहते जेडे लोग मरे इन्ने सालों के उन्होंने पूजो हरेक तरह के आपदे आपदे हैगे ने दैट्स ऑल इन वेन कोई कहना मैं कलैवर बन के मैंने इन्ना पैसा हो मेरी इन्नी गड्डियां मैंने कॉलेज में प्रॉपर्टी है ये मैं रब का भी बड़ा है वो सारा कुछ उन्हें इतने रह जाना इन सेकंड्स right look at Saddam Hussein in Iraq ਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟ ਇਰਾਕ ਦਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਸੋਨੇ ਦੀ ਟਾਇਲਟ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ ਉਹਦੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਮਰਿਆ ਖੁੱਡ ਦੇ ਮੂੰਹ ਉਹਦੇ ਖੁੱਡ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੱਢੀ ਦਾ ਨਾ ਚੂਹੇ ਨੂੰ ਇਦਾਂ ਉਹ ਬਾਹਰ ਕੱਢਿਆ ਉਹ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਹੱਥ 'ਚ ਇਦਾਂ ਉਹਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਮੌਤ ਹੋਈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਾਂਸੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਈਵਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੌਕਰ ਖੇਡਦੇ ਨੇ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਰਾਕ ਦੀ ਸੌਕਰ ਟੀਮ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੰਗੀ ਖੇਡੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਠੇ ਲਮਕਾ ਕੇ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਾਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਡੰਡੇ ਇਹ ਅੱਜ ਜਿੱਤ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਈ ਗਿਆ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਸੀਗੇ ਕਈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਇਲਜ਼ਾਮ ਲਾ ਦੇਣਾ ਤੇ ਪੱਥਰਾਂ ਦੇਣਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਿਚਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਭੰਨ ਦੇਣਾ ਸੋ ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਕੀ ਜਸਟਿਸ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਦੇਖੋ ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਨਿਕਲਿਆ ਹੁਣ ਗਾਂਹ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਕੀ ਹਾਲ ਹੋਣਾ ਇਹ ਉਹਦੇ ਲਿਬੀਆ ਗਦਾਫੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰਸ਼ੀਆ ਦੇ ਵੀ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਕੁਛ ਕੀਤਾ ਭੁਗਤਣਾ ਤਾਂ ਪੈਣਾ ਹੀ ਪੈਣਾ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਇੰਦਰਾ ਗਾਂਧੀ ਨੇ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੁਛ ਕੀਤਾ ਅਸਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 2000 ਬੰਦਾ ਮਾਰਿਆ ਸੀ ਉਹਨੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬੜੀ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਲਿਖੀ ਸੀ ਆਕਸਫੋਰਡ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਲਿਖੀ ਸੀ I think Oxford or Cambridge, one or the other, England ਵੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਕੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ innocent ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ so ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਗਾ ਫਿਰ so that's what it is no one else can kill or preserve he is a protector of all things ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੈਕਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਸੰਭਾਲਣਾ ਉਹਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਲਗਾਉਣੀ ਆ ਹੋਰ ਲੰਬੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ ਘਟਾਉਣੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਉਹਦੇ ਹੱਥ 'ਚ ਆ ਬੱਚਾ ਜਿਉਣਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੀਣਾ ਜਾਨਵਰ ਆਉਣਾ ਜਾਨਵਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਣਾ ਮੀਂਹ ਪੈਣਾ ਮੀਂਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈਣਾ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਹੱਥ 'ਚ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਹੱਥ 'ਚ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ even though mankind tries that they'll do something to create clouds and create water artificial this they can try all they want but ਜੇ ਰੱਬ ਨੇ ਕਰਾ ਦੇਣਾ ਉਹਨੇ ਧਰਤੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਕਰਾ ਦੇਣੀ and you have black holes that can swallow a whole planet and just destroy a star just like that crush it and ਇੰਨੀ strength ਹੈ ਰੱਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਨੀ ਕੋਈ ਛੋਟੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਊਗੀ So why are you so anxious, O mortal? सच्ची पातशाह कहना mortal क्यों ना anxious क्यों आ? Right? तुझे depressed होए ने तुझे आ होए ने थोड़े को इन्ना कुछ होने वाला तुझे हर एक चीज़ में anxious रहने हैं तुझे नाम जपो तो थोड़ा सारा anxious निकल जाना तुझे पानी करो सेवा करो सारा कुछ निकल जाना आप एक तरह से बुढ़े हो जा रहे हैं right? That's why कोई किसी का डिप्रेशन है किसी का शराब की प्रॉब्लम किसी का की प्रॉब्लम शराब पी के लोगों ने प्रॉब्लम कदे हट्टे में देखे नहीं किसी जो देखे तो मैं दादा को लोग सोचते दैट्स द ईजी वे मैं शराब पी जानी है कि आप ही प्रॉब्लम उठ जू बिल्स कदे पे किए गए जो बंदा शराब पींदा बिल आप ही पे हो जाऊगा या आप ही घर चली जाओगे जो बच्चे आप ही पाल जाएंगे मैं शराब पी जाना आप ही हो सारा कुछ इट डजंट हैपन लाइक दैट आप मेहनत करनी चाहिए बंदा इज ट्राइंग द ईजी वे टू गेट आउट ऑफ इट and that's not helping it doesn't help anybody in fact it creates more problems in the household meditate O Nanak on the God, the invincible and the wonderful. सच्चे पातशाह कहता आही थोड़ा तरीका थोड़ा मेन तरीका यह है meditate O Nanak on God, the invincible, the wonderful. जिन्ना तुसी ਇਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਾਂਗੇ ਬਾਣੀ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ऐसे नहीं थोड़ा काम करना ते जे तुसी ਇਹ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੇ ਕਦੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਨਾ you're getting older you know getting younger and if you haven't started when are you going to start most of the people that are here in the Friday class have attended at least 5 classes if not more. And I've stressed about Naam enough times about Seva Karni, Bani Pani Seva Karni. I've stressed it so many times. And if you haven't started, how do you expect those problems to go away? ਸਾਰੇ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੁਖ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਹੋਏ ਸਾਰੇ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਦੇ ਸੁਖ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਹੋਏ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਸੁਖ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਹੋਏ Well, Guru Sahib showing you the method of how you're going to get that. So we are saying that we're going to use our own method. That's why we are failing. ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਅੱਖ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹਦੀ ਰਹਿਣੀ ਬਹਿਣੀ ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ then we're successful. When we're not, then we're not. Right? ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਹੋਰ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਝੋਟਾਂ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਰਾਹ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਾਂਹ ਤਾਂ ਪਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ये दोनों कि मेरा गुरु साहब बाप परे कि ओदी रहनी बहनी ओदे आँख लगना पैना. You have to understand, meditate or knowledge on God is invincible to wonderful. You have to meditate. It is important, right? Very important. I did do the song again. Don't forget what you're supposed to do if you're going to sleep. Buddy, you tell me. You tell me what are you supposed to do before you go to sleep. Very good. How old are you? 8 years old is telling me that we're supposed to be doing Kirtan Sela before we go to sleep. Do you do Kirtan Sela if you go to sleep? Good now. Yeah, does your brother do it? Yeah. Alright. So that's important. Okay? So je 8 saal da akal hegi hai, jehde 20, 25, 30 saal da, 17, 18, 19 saal da, unnu ko mere akal aayi hogi. And it's so easy. You got YouTube on your phone. Just put in Kirtan Sela and listen to it. Right? In fact, you can get one that's got the translation in English. So read along so you understand what is Guru Sahib telling you to do. It's got all the messages right there. Right? Jamat wade nere bhi nahi aun raat nu je thada Kirtan Sela paat kita hai. Sache Paatshah protects you. You got a protection around your house. Koi idari cheez nere bhi nahi aa sakti. Right? Just, I was listening to 680 News today. I usually listen to it a little bit on the way to work so I know what the weather is like and what the traffic's like. And there was a 16-year-old guy who killed somebody, stabbed him to death while they were about to steal the car in Brampton. This is Castlemore and Borwick, and I live near Castlemore and Borwick. Right? So that's very close to my home. Getting stabbed for what? He was trying to stop them from stealing a car, somebody's car. They were trying to break into somebody's car. There's 5 of them. So a 16-year-old has been arrested now for murder, attempted murder, whatever you want to call it. And there was 4 other people involved as well. They've got the other 3, but one who was the driver is still at large. They haven't got him yet. So they're telling him to surrender. Now, 16-year-old, you've literally ruined your life. You have a criminal record for life, so you're not going to get a good job. Forget it, you're going to study now. They're not going to put you to school, university, and prison. Okay, so you lost that. Plus, the person whose life got lost, plus his son was there and he got badly hurt. And probably from stab wounds. Right? So, laha ki liya hai vichon. Maa piyo bhi dukhi. Pita yida bechare da surgwas ho gaya uthi. Right? But what did you gain? Trying to steal a car. Pehli gal is second coming gadiyan chodiyan ka yaha kam. So I hope they're not Sikhs. I don't know or Indian Sikh kaun si hai jis se nahi hona. From dreaded being in Brampton, it's a good chance, 80% that it could be Indian. Right? But you're hoping it's not. You don't want that to happen to anybody's family, right? Regardless if it's Indian or not Indian. Okay? But again, the kid was only 16 years old now. He's been caught and he's been charged with murder. Right? And this actually happened in the summer. Right? It happened in the summer. Only reports starting to come out now exactly what happened in that case, right? So I think the older person was about 70 years old and his son, and they tried to steal somebody's car out of a driveway. He tried to stop them, being a good cemetery, good person, trying to help, and they stabbed him a few times, and he died. And the kid was hurt as well, his son got hurt. So this is something that we don't want to hear from anybody in any household. And this had to come in heavily. And we make sure we don't hang around with people like that, and that we've got nothing to do with things like that, because that's not us. Right? In fact, we're supposed to be helping people, not doing the wrong thing. We're supposed to discourage people from doing the wrong things. Okay? That's what we're supposed to be doing. So I've got a couple of nice videos that I've kept today. So I'll go through some of them importantly. And I also wanted to share a ceremony that happened this week honoring a Sikh deputy sheriff. His name is Deputy Taliwal, and I'll share that with you guys a bit as well. They spoke so much highly about this person. He got shot by some white person. I don't know if white supremacist or whatever he was, but we'll figure out more with that. And what I'll do is, even on our WhatsApp, I'll put a couple of articles on it. In fact, they did a ceremony at a football stadium, and it was packed. I remember the Sikh guy. Like, I understand that he's passed away and everything, but people now know about Gurdwaras, and they made langar for everybody. Look, somebody's passed away, but they invite all the community over for langar, right? Where do you get that? Which whole people get it that one church the Saran Sada to the Adu planted the death for years from Saran Prashata. Right? Guru the Pyar, it's unreal that even in tough times, Guru said people Shadaship on this Saran. And we'll come back to in a moment, right? But let me start with a couple of one. We'll talk about Nam Simran, so that's why it's important, that's what we're talking about. And I want to continue that. I heard that the class last week was really good, and so I really want to thank Justin Wilson for doing that. He's a lawyer, he's becoming really, really prominent, and I feel like I can retire soon. I got somebody who can actually take over when the time comes. And today he couldn't come because he's been busy, he's behind on his work a little bit, he needed to catch up. So he apologized that he couldn't come today. But I'm glad, I'm going to get the notes from him, what he spoke to the students about, and I'll share the notes with the parents as well, and then we'll get together. And I think we will do that probably once every month, or every month and a half. But we get the parents together, and we'll have the students on one side, he can talk to them, or we'll switch over once in a while too. Right? So we get a point of view of it. And the parents really enjoyed it, and I'm hoping that the students did too. So we'll do that every month. So that way you can ask questions, you can relate to us, we can relate to you. We can open up doors as well. Other way, if there's some presentations you want me to share, let me know. Right? Like one of the ones that the parents wanted was alcohol. That alcohol is such a problem in the community. And I have a really good alcohol presentation. Right? So things like that, marijuana, anything else that you guys want to know, please let us know. I've got, I think, 27 years of stuff on my laptop. Whenever I've shared many things, sometimes over and over again, because new students come in. But if there's something that you haven't seen me share, like meat presentation, should Sikhs eat meat or not? I usually share that around Thanksgiving, and that's coming up. So I'll share that maybe next week or week after, where we'll do the meat presentation. Bring your husbands and anybody else who's a big meat lover, and let me show you what happens and how meat comes along. Right? Same sharab on alcohol, Christmas time, people drink a lot. Up Punjabi extra when you only Christmas only the pindi right? That's a good time to share the alcohol presentation. We can stop them drinking and driving, and maybe save some lives and some ladies from getting hurt by the husbands who drink a lot. We don't want to see that happen either. Okay? So let's start off with this one here. Okay.
Thing to acknowledge is that the reason we're in this battle is because this is the battle that the Guru recommends. Yeah? We don't come from a tradition where the Guru says, take yourself away from Maya and go sit in a mountain somewhere and just do meditation. Because you can take yourself away from all of your work and your commitments and just go sit in a mountain somewhere. But the Guru doesn't recommend that technique to us. So we have to take comfort in the fact that actually we're doing, even living our worldly life, we're doing what the Guru recommends, because the Guru has experienced that. So Guru talks about the hardest path is the one which is within Maya, the most challenging path. So why would the Guru give us the most challenging path? The reason the Guru gives us the most challenging path is because all the meditators, the sadhus before them, took themselves out of Maya. Look at Buddha, look at all of these great meditators. They were all achieving the same level of Gyan, the same merging, but they never found a way that was for everyone. So the Guru has given us a technique that's for everyone in our everyday practice, and the technique is Naam. So the Guru gives us a technique that while you're in your work, Naam Simran has to be going on. You have to be actually saying a Naam Simran while you're just doing everyday things, so you're chopping your wood or whatever it is that you're working on. That technique has to be where you have to get so comfortable with doing Simran in Maya and taking yourself out of Maya. Now, one of the ways to do that is, again, part of mindset. If you're sitting in the Gurdwara early in the morning, or if you're sitting at home and you're reading your Nityanem, one of the biggest mistakes that we do is when we close our Gurka, when we stop our Nityanem, and we do the Fateh, Waheguru Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Fateh, there's a switch-off mechanism in our mind that says, Nityanem done, now I can start my day. That's...
How many of us actually have that? As Simran kar liya, Snan karke Simran kar liya, as Japji Sahib, Jaap Sahib, Sri Pain, Chobi Nan Sahib kar liya, and then we switch things, main bas kar liya, main aadar durga, baki jora kaamon ko kar sakta. Right? So all of us do it. I used to think like that too, that I've done my Nityanem good, now I can go do what I need to do, go cut the grass and this, when my Nityanem is done. Right? But listen to this, it's a very important thing here.
The barrier. The point at which you stop your Nityanem, and that bit when you close the Gurka and you say your Fateh, that's a part of your mind that says, okay, thank you, I've done my duty, now go do your worldly duty. That is a very significant thing that we do, which we should be mindful of. When you stop your Simran in the morning, and even if it's get up for 5 minutes, give yourself 5 minutes before you get out of bed, you just say Waheguru for a couple of minutes, whatever it is that is our practice. When you finish it, don't finish it. What I mean by that is, as soon as you stop sitting there doing that nithanim, keep that nithanim going. Keep the simran going. So you go to the bathroom, you're brushing your teeth, waheguru, having a shower, waheguru, eating breakfast. Yeah? Then we have to get into the habit of doing this. None of this falls straight away. Yeah? And nobody's saying that, it's easy or it's like, so many people have achieved it, why am I the only one that hasn't achieved it? No, this isn't the easy path. But the path is to have it within Maya. And part of that is actually every day, every moment, we have to try and find a way that we can incorporate what the Guru teaches us in everyday life. And the way I found out is that if you're just doing any activity, anything that doesn't require you to be having a thought right now. You look at it like when you're driving, you can be driving and not really, your mind is all over. You can be planning a holiday while you're driving. But you can also be doing Simran at the same time. So unless you're having a conversation with a client or something like that, and that needs your mind to be aware, or you're actually figuring out some calculation or something, that's when you can't do Simran. That's because you're having to literally work and use your mind. But the majority of the day, we don't actually have to use our mind. Our mind is just going in all directions because it's free. When you're washing the dishes at home, when you're cooking, all these things don't really require a lot of mental focus. That kind of stuff can happen even when you're hoovering or whatever you're doing at home. So, during those times, you have to get into the habit of just reciting Naam. And how do you start that? Start by doing it out loud. Start doing it out loud, and then slowly, it should become part of the everyday practice.
That's really important, making it part of your everyday practice. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਘਾਹ ਕੱਟਦੇ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੋਬਰ ਫੇਰਦੇ ਆ, ਰੋਟੀ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕਰ ਲਓ, ਰਾਈਟ? ਇਹਦੀ ਹੈਬਿਟ ਬਣਾਉਣੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ। ਹਾਂ, ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਕਰਨੀ ਪੈਂਦੀ, you have to study, understand, you have to concentrate, that's understandable. ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੰਮ ਤੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਕਾਊਂਟਿੰਗ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੰਜੀਨੀਅਰਿੰਗ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, and you have to do that, that's understandable. But ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਵਿਹਲਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਗੱਡੀ ਚਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਲਾ ਲਓ, ਸਿਮਰਨ ਨਾਲ ਕਰੀ ਚਲੋ, right? And I remember one time I was living near Perth Forest, near the hospital there, in Brampton Hospital, and I was standing at the traffic lights. The Simran Chala was like, Guru. And there's a call in the next Gadida Ferdasi. He was saying, Yaman, right? He really thought that was quite cool, right? And I didn't realize he was watching me, right? So that's what it is. You see, all the around here, dunya de vich rende. Right? That's what it's saying. Guru Sahib ne tu paana de bachcho. Guru Sahib ne कहते tu संसार च ना रहो. तो तुसी ब्याह करो, तुसी बच्चे होए, पर बच्चों भी पालो, उन्हें बड़े करो, पर गुरु दे रंग दे विच रहो. Right? That's the important thing, and that's the same thing. Simran. As if we do Simran, it's not we don't. I forget sometimes. I don't. But then I remember when I see videos like that. I remember when I'm doing Kirtan or listening to I put a Simran tap to work on it. Right? Like when I was on my way here, I listened to Rara's part, and I did some Binti Chopra part for Pantli Chakdikla. Right? So when you have the moment, put it to good use. Right? Moment ਦਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਣਾ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ 3 ਘੰਟੇ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਮੂਵੀ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, 2 ਮੂਮੈਂਟ ਦਾ ਲੱਭ ਜਾਂਦਾ। Right? ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਟਾਈਮ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ। Right? ਬਾਕੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਦੀ ਟਾਈਮ ਬਣਾ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ, ਪਾਰਟੀਆਂ ਜਾਣ ਨੂੰ ਟਾਈਮ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਵਿਆਹ ਜਾਣ ਨੂੰ ਟਾਈਮ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਣ ਨੂੰ ਟਾਈਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦਾ। Come on. Right? We forget who our priorities are. So that's really good. It's a good way. That's why I was trying to show you guys videos and everything that actually makes sense and can actually help your lifestyle. Right? So you can become part of that. So it can make it easier and honorable for you too. Okay, so that's why it's important. Okay, so let's have a look at another video here. I got a really nice one here too.
Think about what your mind does as soon as you wake up in the morning. Just imagine that for a moment. You wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do? I'm willing to put my hand up and say, I reach for my phone. Right? You just reach for your phone. There's nobody gonna message you, nobody's like that important that they're like a prime minister or something. You need to check their messages first thing in the morning. But for whatever reason, what we do, and the reason we do it is so fascinating. Straight away in the morning, what we're doing is we are cementing, did anyone remember me? Did anyone remember me doing first thing in the morning? You're cementing your importance. And if lots of people remembered you and messaged you for whatever reason, liked, commented on a status update, something, send you a funny joke or anything like that, what you're really saying is first thing in the morning, am I still relevant? Am I still important? And what's the Guru's instruction? When you wake up in the morning, Guru Satguru ka jo sikh khaye so pal ke uth har naam jaaye. The way I understand that doesn't mean that you wake up, you have your Ishnan and do all those things and then you spend a bit of time doing litany. It means the moment that you wake up, Naam Simran starts. Yeah? If you are to call yourself a Sikh, this is one of the signs of a Sikh. They wake up in the morning, the first thing they do is not to think about, am I the most important person in the world? Straight away you realize it's nothing to do with me.
See, so isn't that what most of us do? Well, I recheck my phone because my alarm goes off, so I shut the alarm off so my wife's not waking up. She gets up a lot earlier than I do, right? So the thing is that it's okay if you want to, touch your phone because of the alarm and anything, but don't start checking your messages. That means you're more important because you're worried if people remember you or not, or is your Guru Sahib more important? Usse wale simran shuru kar do, right? Kade de tum raat nu jaag aa jaye, ya fir go to washroom and try to do simran. Right? Any moment you can get attached to Guru Sahib, get attached. Ek din ne aap chal pana. Pehlo uchi karo Vaheguru, jidde chalare swasana Vaheguru, jidde thoda ji karo swasana. Ek din idni bhakti shuru hoyi niya, man mein simran kare, thode man ne aap hi simran kar lagya. Thode dil ne tak nahi karna hai. Vaheguru kar lagya. And that's the kind of level you want to get to. So ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਦੇਖ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ and it's rewarding, ਉਹਨੇ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਾ ਦੇਣਾ ਹੈ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਪਾਓ, ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਪੈਰ ਅੱਗੇ ਰੱਖ, ਮੈਂ ਕਰੋਦਾ ਪੈਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵੱਲ ਆਉਂਗਾ। ਰੱਖੋ ਤਾਂ ਸਹੀ ਨਾ, ਟਰਾਈ ਤਾਂ ਕਰੋ। If you don't try, you're never going to know, right? So that's why it's important.
About me. So that's our first challenge when we wake up in the morning, is that are we waking up the right way? You see, when we start dissecting our day, then we'll understand there were so many opportunities to do Naam Simran, but so many opportunities to also do like Hankar Simran, which is what we're doing, the self-important Simran. Yeah? So then you wake up, and then the first thing your mind starts telling you after it's checked all your messages is, what do I need to do today? Your mind starts asking you all these things. You need to do this, you need to do that. Yeah, everybody's the most important person in the world. And you've got to do all the things. So, the next thing that you do is your mind tells you, you've got loads of things to do. You've got plenty of things to do. You might even convince yourself, you don't have time to do any meditation in the morning. And people are all living difficult lives. Yeah? Everybody's got lots of different things that they need to do and lots of different commitments. I say that there's always 2 times in the day that you definitely have to do Naam Simran. If you say that your day is too busy, life's too busy, there's definitely 2 points in the day. When you wake up in the morning, you have got a couple of minutes. Yeah? If not, set your alarm at least 5 minutes earlier. You've got time when you wake up in the morning, before you even get out of bed. And before you get into bed, what's the last thing you do before you go to bed? Check your phone. Yeah? Kiss your phone good night. Right? You do that. We all do it. Right? You have to understand that these things are like being made addictive. Like the phone companies, they know, let's keep people hooked on this stuff. Right? And you can go into the science of it. And what you're really doing is you're looking for a dopamine hit. Dopamine is a pleasure chemical, a happy chemical they call it. And when you receive a message, what you're receiving is a little hit that says, I'm still important. You're addicted to a drug being released by your own mind. Right? But we don't understand that these are the things that are happening to us. We say, let's just check our phone. Really, it's addiction. Try this. Wake up in the morning, don't check your phone. Then you'll see how addicted you are to your phone. There's something, there's such a strong pitch, it's just pulling you, such a strong pull, right? Just think now, most of us are from a generation where we weren't born with phones in our hands, right? We weren't born, most of us remember childhood when we didn't have to have a phone. Yeah, you had to have a 10p coin in your pocket so that you went and actually had to call home, you needed some money in your pocket. What's going to happen to our children who are of this generation now, where the phone is part of their life? They grow up with a phone. My youngest boy, when he was about 1 year old, he'd go to the TV screen and he'd start swiping. Because his expectation was every screen is a touch screen. At 1 year old, he was swiping the TV, trying to move the screen along. They are born with technology. So if we don't set a good example, the next generation will know. People are always saying to me, come to our schools, come to our Gurdwara, teach the kids. I always say, I'm not interested in teaching the kids. Let's teach the parents. Let them teach the kids. Let's teach the parents first. Because don't make the assumption, Bachya nu sikhao. If you're saying Bachya nu sikhao, that means we've learned everything. And if you've learned everything, you can't call yourself a Sikh anymore. Because a Sikh means, I'm still learning. So we should always reflect on what is happening with our day. So we start our day. Life feels so complicated. So many things to do. So many things to think about. So when we're brushing our teeth, our minds are wandering, and when we're in the shower, and when we're eating our breakfast, our minds are all over the place. Where's the time for all these things? You know Guru Nanak Dev Ji? He was more than aware of this. Guru Nanak Dev Ji has shabads specifically that address these things. And what Guruji says is, he says that there are so many flavors for you to enjoy. Ras soina, ras rupakama, right? Gold, silver. He says husband and wife, that's also a attraction. That's also something that's keeping you distracted. Yeah? Ras paramal kivas, even fragrance. Ras pole, seja, mandar. Yeah? Today we don't have horses, but our cars, that's an addiction. He says even your bed is an addiction. Yeah? All of these are nice flavors that you can get attached to. Rasa meetha, rasa mas, sweet flavors, savory flavors. When there are so many flavors to enjoy, who's got Naam sitting in their heart? Guruji understands. Guruji's talking our language. It's not complicated. Guruji's saying, look, I get it. I understand. So the Guru's not trying to make your life more complicated. The Guru's trying to make your life better. But we just have to understand, why is it better? What is it that Naam Simran can give me that my phone can't give me? Okay, let's talk about this, because this is very important for us to understand for our younger generation. We get parents coming up to me and saying, I can't get my kids to do Japji Sahib. They just don't want to do it. We've been doing it for 20 years since we were young, but the kids don't want to do it anymore. My question to them is, do you understand what Japji Sahib says? He said, no, we never really bothered with that. We just read it. And now we just want our kids to read it. And unfortunately, this is just not going to last. This doesn't work. The next generation, the mobile phone generation, it's not going to work for them. Just go do it. Just do part. So don't ask questions. That's how the older generations raised us. Don't ask questions, you do it. The younger generation are saying, what can this part give me that me posting a picture of myself on Instagram can't give me? I post a picture on Instagram, I instantly get a hit. I instantly feel good. You have to now prove to me what Naam Simran is going to be. And that's where the only way we're going to help our young generation is if we know what Naam Simran is actually doing for us. If you don't know, you're not going to be able to convince them, because you're telling them to try something that you don't know what it tastes like.
That's real powerful words there, Sangaji. That's why, as parents, we need to taste Naam Simran too. Jasni Simran karne asi oda swad karna de bachana da sang. It's very valid, and kids are going to ask questions. Mom, I read us part karna, but mujhe kyo karna pada? Is there a reason behind it? And the good thing for you kids, let's just say your mom and your parents have a hard time making you understand that. Okay, I can understand some parents can't because they never went through it. They did part because their parents said to part, and they did it for 20 years, but they don't know why either. Maybe it's very possible in some households like that. But you guys got Google, you guys got internet today, and you guys can find out the meaning of the part in English, what Guru Sahib's message is to you. You have it there right in front of your fingertips, right? So if you know that your parents can't answer that, how can you get that answer and tell your parents that you'll be doing them a favor too? Right? I think that's such a nice way to do it as well. Don't just say, Mom, you don't know, so forget it, I'm not doing it. Just say, Mom, let me find out what the answer is, and let me get back to you. That will help you too. Right? Don't you want to see Mom and Dad get out of the hell and go into heaven? Right? Right? Like they've been doing so much for us. Isn't it time for us to return the favor? Right? So that's the way I would do it. I mean, I've had my dad and my mom, she passed away when I was 11, telling me to pass and I never questioned it. Right? Then I went on the wrong track for a while, and then Guru Kirpana, he put me back on the right track. And now, ever since then, it's been now, 35 years of being Amritali, trying to do the right things and understanding everything Guru Sahib said. And I love it. That's why we do this class, because we want to see you guys escape it too. And the key's right there. You just got to figure it out, and answer is actually the key. Okay? So something unfortunate happened in the past couple of weeks. There's a Sikh, I think his name is Dhaliwal, I believe. He got shot by a white person. I believe he's from Texas, right? And they did a big ceremony for him, and it was all over the news, and the US was covering the news on it. It was even on CNN as well. So I got a couple of the clips from it. I'm also going to send some of them the pictures. They literally did a ceremony for him at like a football stadium. It was packed. It was like an NFL game going on, right? And to remember him, people from all over the different communities came to appreciate this human being, because he was such a nice human being too. Not necessarily just a Sikh with a turban, but he was generally a nice, kind-hearted person. And he became the sheriff of the town, right? So I'm going to show you a couple of videos. I've got about 3 videos I want to share. They're all short videos, right? But so we get to know more about this person. And I'm going to post it, not these ones, but the other ones that's separate from this. And I'll post it up on the WhatsApp so you guys can look there as well. Okay? So let's start with this one here.
It is tradition within the Sikh faith to honor those lost with a continuous 48-hour reading of the Sikh religious text. That just ended within the past few hours at the Sikh temple in northwest Harris County. Taisha Walker is live there tonight, where people from the community continue to gather to offer their prayers. Taisha?
And that reading has now come to a close right now inside of the temple behind me. They are doing their final hymn. And then after that, I'm told everyone will stand up together and take part in one final prayer to honor the life of Sandeep Dhaliwal. Deputy Sandeep Dhaliwal's work in the community continues posthumously. Mourners from near and far, from various religions, came together this day to honor his life and service.
This is least we can do for our hero. You know, he has made us so proud today. He has glorified Turban even more today.
Men and women in blue weaved together by turbans. Deputy Dhaliwal was a trailblazer, becoming the first Sikh deputy to serve in Harris County.
It's a proud for our Sikh communities. He was such a good person. We really miss him. And in this world, he's got famous.
For 2 straight days, prayers filled the Sikh National Center in northwest Harris County. It's a religious ceremony for the departed, which is followed by one final prayer and then hymns. I love you. Dhaliwal embodied his religious principles daily.
He was kind, loving, and caring. And if you look at the service today, you'll see all kinds of people, all kinds of religion, all kinds of race. And I was happy to see everybody in there.
Passing the baton on for others to serve in their respective communities.
A person cannot come back once he dies, but we can help their families and children. We got our small children. We can help with the funds, and we are decided to do that.
Brar Singh sold 200 t-shirts and plans to donate the proceeds to Dhaliwal's family.
And it's not because that he's a Sikh, that he sacrificed his life. It's what it did for everybody in the community that needed help or support. And that's what got me.
And the final prayer just ended just moments ago. People are now starting to make their way out of the temple. You might have noticed throughout the ceremony today, there were touches of blue all over. That was for Sandeep Dhaliwal and to honor him and for wearing the uniform. There will be more of a tribute later today from City Hall and the Montreux Bridge, where they will both light up tonight in the color of blue. Reporting live in Northwest Harris County, Taisha Walker, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
So you can see, I'm going to continue that with another video here.
Larry Seward, with a closer look at how Deputy Dhaliwal made history in the sheriff's office and the legacy he leaves behind. Larry?
Lynn, considered family to a former sheriff, a friend to the current one, Deputy Dhaliwal was a trailblazer.
I'm Deputy Sandeep Dhaliwal with Harris County Sheriff's Office.
He was a giver, seen here after Hurricane Harvey in uniform with volunteers from California. 118-wheeler with $1 million worth of donations for neighbors and co-workers. All of it pulled together by Harris County's first sheriff deputy to wear a turban and bead.
Deputy Dhaliwal was a trailblazer. He represented his community with integrity, respect, and pride. And again, he was respected by all.
Sandeep Dhaliwal, a married father of 3, gave up good money running a trucking company in 2009 after hearing then Sheriff Adrian Garcia speak at a Sikh temple.
He wanted to pursue his calling of public service and consulted with his father about getting permission to join the department. He did, and he did so very quietly. I many times, but did not understand the circumstances by which he came to us.
The first member of the Sikh community to serve the office opened doors others followed.
He was just a solid man, a pillar of the community, and good as gold. He was solid, good man.
When another deputy's family in Puerto Rico needed help after Hurricane Maria, Dhaliwal volunteered. He personally helped deliver relief. Even at home, friends say Dhaliwal served relentlessly, cared for his mom who recently died of cancer.
We were together through that difficult circumstance. This is my family, man, so it's very, very difficult.
Of all the things he gave, Dhaliwal's life mattered most. To prove it, co-workers plan to follow and live out his legacy.
Earlier tonight, Sheriff Gonzalez himself and several of his deputies came here to the vigil that the community where Deputy Dhaliwal patrolled had a vigil for him. It's the kind of thing Deputy Dhaliwal did for his neighbors as well as for his colleagues. Lynn.
It's great that you can remember somebody who's done so many good things in his short life. He was quite a young guy too. 3 kids, right?
Honoring a fallen deputy today who represented the best of Houston's diversity. He protected our city, and he ultimately gave his life performing that duty.
Today, Harris County and beyond is celebrating the life of Deputy Sandeep Dhaliwal.
You just saw some of the more powerful moments from his funeral service, and right now many at the deputy's funeral are over at the National Sikh Center, where members of that community just wrapped up 2 days of prayer. Larry Seward is there for us today. Larry, we hear that this is open to anybody who'd like to come.
Russ, that's correct, and there are few, there were few empty seats. I'll give you a look. There are 3 things going on right now. People here are either sitting at the picnic tables on this playground eating, or they're in line getting food to eat. And to the far left at the entrance to their Gurdwara, which is the temple here at the Sikh National Center, under the photo of Sandeep Dhaliwal, there are people greeting one another and taking photos. The custom of eating food here and sharing a meal is something that they do in the Sikh community after people pass here, but for this particular occasion, they're not having it inside because of the large crowd, but they usually all eat on the same level, either on the floor or at tables, and everyone that is here can share the meal. No one is turned away. That lesson of equality is something, a quality that Deputy Dhaliwal lived. Meanwhile, Dhaliwal's close family and members of the Harris County Sheriff's Office earlier followed his body to the funeral home where his remains were cremated. After that service, family made its way here. We also saw Sheriff Ed Gonzalez here earlier. You can see the crowd here live that remains. We've seen people from New York, from California, really all over the country. We've even met some people from India that came here to honor Deputy Sandeep Dhaliwal. And if you look at the head coverings of most people here. Traditionally, people wear orange, we're told, but many of the people you see here obviously wearing navy blue like I am in honor of the fallen deputy.
So navy blue is obviously the color of the police department, I guess, in that county. So they're all wore blue to remember the same honorable thing that they did. So it kind of explains a lot of these were covered by TV stations all over America. CNN covered it as well. So they're talking about London, they're talking about giving things what Sikh is all about. And that's what it is. So right? So that's saying all you young people here, your parents do a lot for you. Don't say thank you when they're gone. Right? Do the right things when they're alive. Okay? Help, that should be a normal thing, like it was when we were younger with our parents. So you should be doing that normally anyway. And your parents will be proud. They're going to give something in return. I mean, you wear Nike clothes, you wear shoes like from Reebok, and you have a nice house you're living under, right? You have food every day, right? Parents will go hungry, but you will never go hungry, trust me. Like I know our parents, okay? So that's why it's important that when times like this come, the nation is remembering such a nice person, right? But we should also remember our parents at home, what they do for us as well. Because we tend to forget. We do. We become teenagers, we get into our own world, but we don't remember, how did we become a teenager? Who changed our diapers? Who put the food in our mouth? Who got us ready for school? Who got us through school? Who got us through universities? And who got us to what we did? And how do you know what tough times they went through? They could be becoming bankrupt, but they never let you know that they're going through tough times. They still work, maybe a second job, maybe even a third job to make ends meet, so that you guys can have a good life. Okay, so that's why it's important as young kids that we remember what our moms and dads have done for us as well, because we tend to forget, right? It's too late when their dad said, Mom, I loved you, Dad, I loved you. They want to hear that when they're alive. They don't want to hear that when they're dead. They don't even know that you're saying it. They're gone by then, right? So that's important. My father passed away just this last, in the summer, but the many times he gave me hugs and said good things is because I always said those things back to him while he was alive. Right? He had such a nice life. Guru 6 ago woke up 1 o'clock every morning to do his bhakti. And and I always made sure John was ready on time. He had his panjiri or the roti, garam kani on time and everything. Because we knew, and that's why he knew that me and my wife gave all that back to him as well. Right? And I wish we could have done more. But that was it. So that's what's important, Pyari Sangaji. The care of your mom and dad while they're here, don't say it when it's too late. Okay? Right? When you give them grievance, you give a grievance to Waheguru too. When you hurt your parents, Rabb is hurt too. Right? Do you think you can live on your own? You go out to your house, you'll know what life is like. Right? One day you'll have kids too. Right? And you don't want that happening to you either, where your kids are torturing you. So what goes around comes around. Okay? So you want to make sure you live in harmony. You can live with your parents forever if you want, till the day they go. They'll keep you. They won't tell you to get out of here. But as long as you stay within your limits too. Of course they will talk to you. That's it for this week. We'll come back here next week and we'll do other classes as well. I'm going to gather some information from just Colonel Singh, who did the class last week, and I know he did a great job. A lot of people told me he speaks really good and everything. He's getting better as well, right? So, like that, he's a lawyer and he knows the rights and wrongs of the world and society as well, so that's kind of good. And I think that the youth are getting to know him a bit better as well and start to understand him and ask him fair enough questions, right? I've got to head out a little bit. I'm going to close about 5 minutes early today. It's got to go somewhere today as well, and I promise my wife will be back home in time. So Pyari Satsangji, I'll send you guys the links in this one on WhatsApp, just as I get my call right now. I'll send them right away to our WhatsApp. Do look at them. There's the ceremony showing him, and I tell you, a lot of people respect this person. Right? सोने की टोपी भी पा लो तो पग वाला मुकाबला नहीं है ठीक ना वो ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰਹਿਣੀ ਪੈਣੀ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੀ is very very important to have। Okay, Pyari Satsang ji, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ